council resolution.
Plus, the special election to replace George Santos comes down to the wire.
And in sports, Vinton County seeks to clinch the TVC Ohio title in Pomeroy. Newswatch starts right now. Athens residents are making their voices heard in the latest city council sessions. Good evening, I'm Haley Hollinger.
And I'm Silver Barker. Welcome to Newswatch. Athens has joined the list of cities in Ohio being asked to consider a resolution calling for a ceasefire in Gaza between Hamas and Israel.
Athens City Council seems reluctant to pass a resolution calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. At another packed meeting, the council discussed whether it was their place to pass the resolution. The resolution urges state and federal officials to call for an immediate ceasefire in the region and an end to U.S. funding of the war. But a legal opinion by the city's assistant law director says the council has never adopted such a resolution and says by nature, resolutions are only intended for local issues. Councilmember Solveig Spaldness and a number of council members agreed with the opinion and feared how this would affect the community.
Convinced that we should not pass any resolution for two major reasons. Our job as a council is to pass legislation that improves the lives of our residents in a responsible way. Passing any such resolution will be divisive, inspire fear, and undermine inclusion and harmony of our community.
Some members of the public there disagree, saying the U.S.'s involvement places an emotional weight on residents. A vote on the resolution is expected at next Monday's council meeting. Two former First Energy executives face indictments in what's been called the largest corruption scandal in Ohio history. Former First Energy CEO Chuck Jones, former Senior Vice President Mike Dowling, and former Public Commission Chair Sam Randazzo, faced 27 state counts, including theft and bribery. State House Attorney General Dave Yost says the three men were part of a scheme that saw $60 million worth of bribes paid in order to pass House Bill 6, a nuclear power plant bailout bill. Randazzo has already pleaded not guilty in relation to House Bill 6 case. Plans for an Ohio social media law are now on pause. U.S. Southern District of Ohio Judge Algernon Marbley granted Internet Trade Association NetChoice a preliminary injunction halting the Social Media Parental Notification Act. The law would have required social media and gaming sites to get parental permission before letting Ohioans younger than 16 on their platforms. NetChoice filed the lawsuit just days before the law was set to take effect.
A new Biden administration program could see economic growth in the Appalachia region. The American Climate Corps plans to train and hire 20,000 people in clean energy and conservation jobs. The White House says the Climate Corps aims to attract individuals from diverse backgrounds and disadvantaged communities, a move that could transform Appalachian economies from being coal-based to forest and ecological-based. More information can be found at AmeriCorps.gov. Newswatch forecaster Emily Case joins us now. It's feeling chilly outside right now, but just a few days ago, I thought that we would be okay and start wearing jackets a little less.
Yes. We are seeing these nicer temperatures, and that is really due to this high pressure system that is going to be impacting us. We are going to see a slight cool down, but for right now we're sitting at around 47 degrees in those partly sunny skies. We do have a little breezy outside, which is making that wind chill feel a little bit colder than it actually is. Temperatures across the nation are on the mild side. Again, in Louisville, 52, Pittsburgh, 39, similar temperatures to what we are going to be seeing here in Athens. Now we are going to be seeing a cold front come through our area, which is going to be cooling things down over tonight and into tomorrow. A lot of high pressure dominating the eastern part of the United States, as well as most of Ohio, really helping to clear out those clouds. Just temperatures over the past 24 hours, mid-30s, and then we really heated up and even hit that 50-degree mark. But as we can see, we are going to be cooling back down as that cold front moves through our area. Not a lot on
Well, thanks, Emily. Hopefully that weather just gets warmer, though. I'm praying, fingers crossed. But high school basketball season is in the home stretch, and the tournament is right around the corner.
That's right, Silver. There's a big matchup in the TVC Ohio tonight, and we have Hardwood Heroes Benton County lead reporter Grant Kiefer live at Meigs High School to take us through the games tonight. Grant.
Thanks, Haley. It's popping in Pomeroy tonight as the Benton County Vikings are just one win away from clinching the TVC Ohio title. They could do it right here tonight. Benton County won the conference title last year and are looking for back-to-back titles. However, Meigs is still alive in the title race, and Coach Jeremy Hills knows his team has to make adjustments.
Hit the boards a little bit better than what we did tonight. We did fine, and we've boarded well all season, but come Tuesday night, we're going to have to do a much better job. We're going to have to box out a lot, and defensively, we know Benton County. They know us, so it's going to be who executes the best. And so moving forward, we got a couple games left the regular season. We got a tournament. We'll see what we're made of.
Like I mentioned, Meigs still has a shot at the title, but Benton County's in the driver's seat. Now, that one loss you see next to Meigs' name, that one came in MacArthur back in December, losing to the Vikings 70-60. On the other hand, Benton County has been perfect. Now, here's what can be done with wins by either team tonight. If Benton County wins, the race is over and the Vikings will win the title outright. However, if Meigs wins tonight, things get interesting. Now, Friday's when we'll know who the winner is in this particular scenario. If Meigs beats River Valley and BC loses to Wellston, Meigs wins outright. If BC wins and Meigs loses, BC wins outright. Any other outcome, the title will be shared by the two schools. Even with this massive game tonight, there's still action around the TVC, starting with a rivalry game. Fort Fry hosts the Waterford Wildcats, the latter of which is coming off a massive week where star Jarrett Armstrong dropped 40 points against Wellston. Now pivoting to Reedsville, the Eagles will host the Alexander Spartans in a game that's seen as an opportunity for both these teams. They've combined for 4 wins this season, so something has to give. Lastly, in Athens tonight, the Bulldogs might be looking ahead to their opening tournament game, but they'll have a tall task at hand against Federal Hawking. Now over on the girls' side of the tournament, their tournament started last night. We had 3 teams in our coverage in action. All of them came away with wins. Now all 3 of these teams controlled their respective matchups against their opponents. So let's take a look at how they did it. Starting in MacArthur, the Benton County Vikings came away with a sectional semifinal win for the 2nd straight year, both coming at home. They got off to a slow start against Washington Courthouse, but came away with the win in a high-scoring affair by a final score of 59-54. Now the game that happened here in Pomeroy last night, the Marauders took on the Ironton Tigers last night and controlled the game start to finish, blowing them out 59-38. Marauders will move on to face the top-seeded Portsmouth Trojans, which will be a tall task at hand. Lastly, in Reedsville, Sciotoville East came to this one struggling. They struggled even more against the Eastern squad that was hungry. Senior Hope Reed dropped a staggering 31 points, which helped lead the Eagles to victory. Eastern has top-seeded Waterford up next. Guys, we're getting closer and closer to tip-off here in Pomeroy. I'm excited to see who can take control of this title race.
Absolutely, Grant. It's going to be interesting to see how this pans out tonight, and I'm ready to see what happens in that showdown. Thanks, Grant.
Coming up, Biden's remarks on the Senate passing foreign aid for Ukraine and Israel. And the race for George Santos' House seat heats up.
We've had amazing weather this past weekend and into the beginning of this week, but will that weather continue into the rest of the week? Find out more when Newswatch returns.
So I want to know where it all came from.
On Finding Your Roots, Danielle Brooks
That blew my mind.
and Dionne Warwick.
I come from a singing family.
From bondage to battle
What do you make of him? It changes the game for my family.
and freedom gained at a cost.
Did you know you had such deep roots there?
No, it was never, ever mentioned or talked about.
Finding Your Roots.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow.
Smokey Stover is my father. We had been wanting to figure out what we had and decided to come to the roadshow.
The proof is in the provenance.
She had become friends with the artist. Apparently he wrote a goodbye note to this piece of art.
Watch Antiques Roadshow Next time from Louisiana State University Rural Life Museum.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
Sometimes we have to look that monster right in the face. Show we're not afraid of it anymore.
Love is the best thing we have. It's the only thing we have.
No more secrets. I just want to be right here in this moment with you.
I trust nothing untoward has occurred.
Bright things ahead, darling. Brightness and joy.
Those that underestimate us should do so at their own peril.
And if they do, so bloody what?
Open your eyes.
Action!
Best episode ever.
No other president in our history has ever bowed down to a Russian dictator. Well, let me say this as clearly as I can. I never will. For God's sake, it's dumb, it's shameful, it's dangerous, it's un-American.
President Joe Biden is taking direct aim at former President Donald Trump from the White House. He condemned a comment Trump made over the weekend about NATO. At a rally in South Carolina, Trump criticized nations that don't meet spending guidelines on defense. Biden expressed a sharply different view of the alliance. This comes as Senate passes a $95 billion foreign aid bill. It includes $60 billion of support for Ukraine, $14 billion in security assistance for Israel, and $9 billion in humanitarian aid. It's unclear whether Speaker Mike Johnson will hold a vote on the legislation in the House due to Republican opposition. All eyes are on the special election to replace former Congressman George Santos.
A special election on Long Island to fill the seat left vacant by Republican George Santos, who was expelled from Congress over ethics violations. Now, Tom Suozzi, a former House member and long-term fixture in local politics, is trying to flip the seat back for Democrats.
I'm saying vote for me because I want to change what's going on in Washington, D.C.
His opponent, Republican County legislator Mazi Pilip, is lesser known, but has the powerful Nassau County Republican Party support driving her campaign.
We're going to send a message to him. His political career is over.
Even though the outcome will have a huge impact on Capitol Hill, where Republicans hold a razor-thin majority in the House, both candidates have steered clear of national party leaders, at least publicly.
For me, it's not about Republican, Democrat. For me, it's about the people, about our country. Our country going to the wrong direction.
The country's so divided, and I focused a lot of my career, not just in Congress, but before that, on working across party lines to get things done.
In addition to impacting the House party breakdown in the short term, the outcome of this election could provide lessons for both parties as general election season nears. Suburban voters are expected to have a big impact on both the presidential election and the race for control of the House. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
An investigation is underway in Houston, Texas, after two deputies shot a black woman mistaken for an intruder. The Harris County Sheriff's Office released edited police body cam video footage from the February 3rd incident. The footage shows the deputies firing into an apartment while responding to a call of a reported break-in. The victim, Ebony Pouncey, and her friend broke into the apartment after her friend forgot her house key. She is recovering in the hospital from the gunshot wounds. Pouncey hired civil rights attorney Ben Crump for, quote, the unnecessary and excessive force used against her. Crump says Pouncey was holding her handgun, fearing intruders when she was shot. The two deputies involved have been placed on administrative leave. A quick-moving winter storm is dumping snow over parts of the Northeast after what has been an unusually warm winter. The storm is expected to bring the biggest snowfall in 2 years to parts of New York, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Rhode Island, and Pennsylvania. Governors are urging people to stay off the roads and avoid non-essential travel. Schools are canceled in several cities, and New York City public schools are remote learning. Residents are prepared to ride it out with supplies like salt, shovels, and firewood. Newswatch forecaster Emily Case joins me again. Emily, those storms look powerful. Are they going to make their way to us?
No, we really won't be getting those impacts from this storm, and that is really just because it's just going to be up north. We are going to be experiencing a slight cold front come through our area, but not that bad right now. We're currently in a high pressure system. As we can see, not a lot of cloud cover over Ohio. Now, this is largely due to this high pressure system that is dominating most of the eastern part of the United States. We do have a cold front that is going to be making its way through Ohio. We are feeling the effects right now, currently, as well as into tomorrow for that. Temperatures across the United States are on the milder side. In Louisville, 52, Pittsburgh, 39, similar temperatures to what we are going to be experiencing here in Athens. Just zooming in on Athens, we're currently sitting at around 47 degrees. And again, very warm for February, which is nice, but not a lot on our local radar. Again, that's due to that high pressure that's clearing out the clouds, as well as no precipitation within our region. But then tonight, sunset at 6:03, setting later and later as we get closer to spring. 27 for that overnight low, and partly cloudy skies as we're going to see a low pressure system start to bring in some clouds. That sunrise at 7:20. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy as well. We might see the sun just a little bit with that high of 46 and that low of 29. And again, tonight we are going to be cooling down as that cold front makes its way through our area. Louisville 35, Pittsburgh 34. Again, just similar temperatures to what we are going to be experiencing in Athens. Tomorrow, we do have this high pressure system that is sitting right above Ohio, and that's going to be clearing out those clouds and giving us a nice day overall. There is some low pressure down here, but that's not going to be impacting us all that much. Tomorrow night, though, we can see this high pressure start to move eastward, and it is followed in the back by this low pressure system that we're going to be seeing move again into our region as tomorrow and as Thursday comes on. So we do have this low pressure system, but in front of it is a warm front. So we're going to warm up slightly, and then on the back end of that, there will be a chance of precipitation. Looking at our 7-day outlook, we do have some, again, as that warm front comes in, we will be experiencing some rain with that because of that low pressure system on the back, and we will be warming up again with that high of 55, and then we are going to get cold because on the back end of that is a low pressure system and a cold front. Back to you.
Thanks, Emily. It's a common neurological disorder impacting millions of adults and children. Epilepsy causes recurring and unprovoked seizures with significant impacts on a person's life. Mandy Gaither has what you need to know about epilepsy.
It's a disorder of the brain. Generally, people are diagnosed with epilepsy when they've had 2 or more unprovoked seizures, but not all seizures look alike.
The big misconception here is that epilepsy is only convulsive seizures.
Dr. Imad Najm, director of the Epilepsy Center at Cleveland Clinic, says the first thing to know about epilepsy is that seizures aren't always associated with muscle jerks or spasms. Other signs could be a staring spell, temporary confusion, stiff muscles, chewing movements with the mouth, or picking movements with the hands. Second, Najm says many times epilepsy can be controlled.
Maybe 2/3 of the patients, if the seizures are identified as part of the diagnosis of epilepsy and medical help and appropriate medical help is provided.
Third, Najm says anti-seizure medication can help, and the goal is for complete seizure control. Next, he says depression and anxiety are common in those living with epilepsy. Loved ones should watch out for signs. And finally, seizures can be related to genetics or from a brain injury, but the cause is often unknown, and epilepsy needs to be diagnosed and treated.
There is a very good chance that these seizures will become under good control and the person will be able to live their life like everyone else.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
For Valentine's Day flowers and chocolates. And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, and YouTube.
We cover all the angles. We report the facts. We find clarity. PBS is here, delivering the credible, reliable, thoughtful election coverage you need to make informed decisions. PBS, your trusted election source.
We're creating a mixed income community. Being low income shouldn't bar you from experiencing a higher quality of life.
I have grown up in a journalism environment where I was frequently the only woman in the room.
At some point, a row of trees went in.
I feel segregated. They were planted to hide this community.
We live in a virtual reality world. Everybody everywhere knows what's going on. So people are aware that there's a problem here.
I wanted her story told, and I felt good that I was the one that was able to tell it.
I know how to do other things to survive.
Rise up and say, you know what? Enough is enough.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
Love is in the air this Valentine's Day, but it's not coming cheap. Consumers are anticipated to break records by spending big bucks at the checkout counter.
Yeah, from flowers to chocolates, the costs quickly add up. Ivan Rodriguez joins us with the breakdown.
True love is priceless, but this Valentine's Day, Twitter-pated consumers are showing their affection with some big spending, according to the National Retail Federation.
Consumers are expecting to spend around $25.8 billion this year, which is on par with last year and the third highest we've seen in our survey's history.
That breaks down to a whopping $185 per person. The NRF's Catherine Cullen says their survey also found in 2024 love is in the air.
This year, consumers are really focusing on the romantic aspects of the holiday. They're spending record amounts on significant others and really prioritizing gifts like jewelry or an evening out.
Despite new federal data released Tuesday showing inflation continuing to cool year over year in January, that evening out or a box of chocolate may still be pricey.
We look at food away from home. That is up more than other cost categories, and so is candy. Price of sugar has really been up all around the globe.
But Bankrate Smart Hamrick says even if inflation remains a little sticky this Valentine's Day, a strong economy will make the road ahead just a little bit sweeter for everyone.
The economy in the United States has remained not only more robust than expected, but it's been the star performer compared to our would-be peers all around the globe. That's something for Americans to celebrate.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Still ahead, one couple shares their secret to 70 Valentine's Days together. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
It sounds sounds like church, but it's speaking truth to power.
On gospel.
We see the rise of these gospel dynastic families. They started playing it in the bars and the clubs. And, oh, we got so much criticism.
Choirs come of age as gospel goes mainstream.
Before you know it, gospel becomes an industry.
It makes you want to cry. It makes you want to sing.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
I want you to fasten your seatbelt.
You cannot chart your own path if you don't know where you came from. For me, it was an opportunity to face my own truth.
This is our community. We don't want our history to stop.
Palm Springs grown, and we want to be part of the community.
You feel it deep down in your soul.
This is stuff that we need in order to feel whole.
I wouldn't be here without gospel.
All this and more, only on PBS.
Time. It's an interesting thing. We always wonder what time it is, and other times, we wonder, where does it go? That's because time flies and waits for no one. So, is it time to donate that car that keeps costing you money? If you've been waiting to give to public television, consider donating a car, truck, or RV. And we'll arrange for a free pickup. You may even qualify for a tax deduction. There's no time like now. Donate today.
An engineering icon.
The Eiffel Tower stands today as a source of inspiration.
It launched the age of tall buildings.
It was the highest monument in the world.
From obstacles.
Gustav Eiffel needs to do better, faster.
To innovations.
It's an act of pure audacity.
Building the Eiffel Tower on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
Finally, tonight, a couple in Northeast Ohio is celebrating their 70th Valentine's Day together. 94-year-old Marty Lynn asked out the girl down the street 3/4 of a century ago. 92-year-old Jean Lynn. A sense of humor and a sense of adventure have carried the Lynns into their 90s. They bonded over their love of the outdoors and weren't afraid to rough it. After 7 decades of Valentine's Days, they say there's no secret to a long love, though compromise helps. In September, the couple will celebrate their 71st wedding anniversary. That is the cutest thing. I am so happy for them and that they've been able to spend all those holidays together.
That is amazing. Yes, that's a beautiful story. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, now we're talking about Valentine's Day. Do you guys have any plans coming up?
Valentine's Day. I'm not sure if anyone knows what that means, but literally just celebrating with the girls, and then also like celebrating. Yeah, just happy.
That's
awesome. Girl day.
Emily, for other people going out, is it going to be a take your date's jacket kind of night?
Yes, it definitely is. We are going to be on the cooler side, so if you're taking your girl out or anything like that, or your significant other, definitely bring them a jacket. But right now, we're sitting at 47 degrees and partly sunny skies. We do have a slight breeze, and that's making our wind chill feel a little bit colder, but overall, not a bad night. We are going to be seeing a cooling down due to this cold front that is making its way through Ohio, but for the large part, we do have a lot of high pressure, and it's dominating most of the eastern part of the United States, bringing us this amazing weather that we're seeing right now. Taking a closer look at just temperatures in southeast Ohio, 47 for Athens and 45 in Zanesville, a little bit cooler in New Philly, but overall not that bad. Tonight, 27 for that overnight low and partly cloudy skies.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Emily Case and Grant Kiefer, I'm Haley Hollinger.
And I'm Silver Barker. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org or follow us on social media. Have a great night.